Your disease is just outside, just doing one-arm push-ups, just waiting for you, waiting to get you alone. Because alone, you lose to the disease.
People who live for the laughter of others are frequently the most damaged on the inside. And honestly, Matthew Perry was that person for many of us.
Nobody had ever dealt with that. And the idea of even losing him.
Recently, Matthew Perry's body was discovered in his Los Angeles residence. Initial reports indicate that the actor drowned in his Los Angeles home's hot tub. Although foul play has been ruled out by the authorities, numerous medical examiners are now theorizing that Perry may have overdosed on the antidepressants he was taking.
Well, there's a stigma attached to it, and that's got to end.
Here's everything you need to know. In the 1990s, Matthew Perry shone brightly on the silver screen, thanks to his role in the hit TV show Friends. However, behind the scenes, the actor dealt with a number of personal challenges, the most significant of which were addiction and an intense longing for the ideal family. The late celebrity dated a number of well-known actresses during his lifetime, including Julia Roberts and Lizzie Kaplan, but he was unable to find the one with whom he would have wanted to spend the rest of his life, which is also why he was never married. The actor, who was 54 years old and had no wife or children to his name when he went away, was said to have passed away in a condition of grief and depression, according to a close friend of the actor who spoke to the Daily Mail just recently. Matthew always had dreams of creating the perfect family. The insider shared the information. He yearned for a loyal partner and, ideally, a couple of kids, says the source. The alleged source went so far as to say that the actor said he wouldn't mind marrying someone who already had a few kids of their own.
And you're sure you're not pregnant?
Yeah, I'm sure. But honey, if you're ready to have kids, we got a room upstairs. I'll blow off this party right now. I'll do it.
Fast forward to October 28th, tragedy struck the world when it was revealed that Matthew Perry passed away at his home in Los Angeles due to a cardiac attack that occurred while he was soaking in his hot tub. More importantly, when the LAPD arrived at his residence, they discovered prescription drugs, prescriptions for anxiety and depression, in addition to medications for COPD, a condition that was likely made worse by his heavy smoking habit, which he was trying to quit, following a recent relapse in his attempt to do so. And while initially it did not seem to be a big detail, LAPD officials have revealed that the medications for COPD were found in the bathroom near his hot tub. Obviously, many critics, in light of this new information, are now speculating that the actor may have contributed to his cardiac arrest by not properly regulating his use of psychotropic drugs.
Dark, and for so long I didn't know what was going on. I do now.
Specifically, they believe he or someone close to him should have been monitoring his intake of these substances, given he was emotionally not stable. Then again, previously unknown information, such as the fact that Matthew Perry was given the extremely addictive barbiturate phenobarbital as an infant, is also coming to light as the potential cause of his recent death.
Yes, but I didn't understand it at all because I was 14 years old, and I didn't know what was happening to me. I just knew I had some issue with this thing.
Of course, his upbringing was already difficult because of the separation of his parents at a young age. As per recent revelations, his mother stayed in Canada, working as a press secretary for his father, Canadian Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau, and putting in long hours, while his father pursued an acting career in Los Angeles, where he appeared in an Old Spice commercial. Similarly, we also know that in his autobiography, Matthew repeatedly referred to his journeys between his two homes as unaccompanied minor flights, a word that he used during his lifetime to symbolize the constant sense of isolation he carried with him. So maybe, just maybe, the actor got overwhelmed with emotions he couldn't contain and passed away so tragically.
When things got really dark, and then, they changed and they got lighter, but writing the hard stuff was the most difficult.
Taking to social media, many fans are now expressing their sadness and troubled thoughts about the actor's passing. Out of the many, one fan expressed, "Did anyone see his strange Instagram posts in the week before he died? Inactive for months, then suddenly strange things. Like the moon and Batman being the last chapter of his autobiography and the last chapter of his life. Then posting, 'Do you understand what I am trying to tell you?' And the last one being the hot tub. And one of 3 grapes and the comment that it was all he ate that day. One saying, 'Rest easy. I'm at the top of a very tall building. People were asking if he was okay due to all the weird posts. Maybe not.' Then he dies on his most famous ex-girl Julia Roberts' birthday. Meanwhile, another fan shared, he was giving hints from 1 week before his death. His Batman reference could have just been how Bruce Wayne faked his own death to live a peaceful life. He could have done that because he never really liked his fame. There was no news after that about how he drowned, etc. I hope he is happy whenever he is." So, of course, this brings us to the question, could the actor have committed suicide? Well, for one, Matthew Perry's struggle with addiction started when he was a teenager and progressed to include alcohol, prescription painkillers, and street drugs like Xanax, Vicodin, and OxyContin. In 2018, he was even put in a life-threatening scenario when his colon ruptured, and the doctors gave him a 2% chance of survival at most. Currently, the investigation into Matthew Perry's passing is still ongoing, and experts have cautioned that pinpointing the cause of death might take several weeks or even months to complete. An initial investigation was carried out by detectives from the robbery homicide section because of his celebrity status, even though there were no obvious indicators of foul play at the scene. Secondly, according to the Los Angeles County Department of Medical Examiner Coroner, the investigation into Perry's death by the coroner is still ongoing. Therefore, the official cause of death has not yet been determined. Without offering any further information, the department indicated that their investigation was still active but did not provide any. So, of course, labeling the actor's death by accidental drowning seems a bit too far at the moment. Then again, Dr. Judy Malinek, a forensic pathologist who is not engaged in the case, but has emphasized the significance of determining if Perry's nose and mouth were submerged when he was discovered, as this could point to a death by drowning being the cause of Perry's injuries. According to her, it is extremely important to discover whether or not factors such as heart disease or intoxication had a part. Yet, getting test results may take some time due to the limited resources available in toxicology. Dr. Melinek also suggested checking the footage from the home security system and assessing the hot tub itself to make sure it was operating appropriately and keeping the water at the correct temperature. The water's temperature, if it was exceedingly hot but not scalding, may have been a factor in the victim's heat, exhaustion, and dehydration, which may have ultimately led to the actor's death by drowning. On the flip side, Dr. James Gill, the chief medical examiner for the state of Connecticut, underlined the importance of distinguishing between intentional drowning, which may indicate a suicide attempt, and accidental submersion, which may be the result of medical issues or substance usage. In situations like these, it is common practice to add a pending cause of death on the death certificate, according to Dr. Gill, mainly because this enables the family to move forward with funeral preparations while toxicology tests are being carried out, which can take some time. Meanwhile, Dr. Catherine Pinnery, a former president of the National Association of Medical Examiners, has also mentioned that authorities have not yet confirmed whether or not drowning was the cause of Perry's death, which adds to the mystery that surrounds the investigation and indicate towards a possible suicide scenario. Obviously, right now, everyone seems to be on edge, as several celebrities and co-stars of the late actor are coming forward and expressing their sadness and grief over the sudden passing of Perry.
Love someone and it just doesn't come back, necessarily the way you want it to.
Recently, A heart-wrenching message from the 5 core co-stars who survived Matthew Perry from the immensely popular NBC sitcom was also made public. The joint statement carried the signatures of Jennifer Aniston, Courtney Cox, Lisa Kudrow, Matt LeBlanc, and David Schwimmer. According to the joint statement that the actors posted, they said, "We are all so utterly devastated by the loss of Matthew. We were more than just castmates. We are a family. There is so much to say, but right now we're going to take a moment to grieve and process this unfathomable loss. In time, we will say more, as and when we are able. For now, our thoughts and our love are with Maddie's family, his friends, and everyone who loved him around the world." That's all for today, guys. Make sure to leave your thoughts on the actor's sudden passing in the comments below. Make sure to hit the bell icon to catch us for more updates.